Imagine a time when hunger was a clock. It ticked only when your body ran out of fuel. You ate to survive. You ate to have the energy to hunt, to farm, to build, to live another day. Food was function. But look at us now. We eat when we are happy. We eat when we're sad. We eat because it's 12 midnight. We eat because we saw a 15-second video on our phone that made our mouth water. We aren't just eating for survival anymore. We eat for entertainment. Something has changed. A switch was flipped in our collective psychology. But what triggered it? Was it the ingredients, the marketing, or was it something deeper? A feeling we all know but rarely question. Today we are going to trace the history of human hunger from the campfire to the drive-thru to the smartphone screen. We're going to find out why exactly we can't stop eating.
Even if they want to cut down, even if they know it's killing them, they find they can't stop.
For 99% of human history, food was scarce. If you were a hunter-gatherer, sugar was a rare treat found in a beehive or a seasonal fruit. Fat was luxury. Your brain was hardwired to scream, yes, whenever you found these things because you didn't know when you'd find them again. Fast forward to the 20th century. Even in the 1900s, dinner wasn't an event. It was a refueling stop. But before we got to the excess of the 80s, the seed was planted much earlier. The moment food stopped being cooked and started being assembled, it started with a specific business model in 1916. Imagine a place selling small, square sliders at the time. Ground beef had a bad reputation. People thought it was dirty factory scraps. So this place did something genius. They painted the building stainless steel white. They ground the meat in front of the customers to prove that it was clean. They weren't just selling burgers. They were selling trust. This was White Castle. But White Castle was just the spark. The fire was spreading. By the 1920s, the city streets were speeding up. People didn't have time to sit. Enter the automat. Places like Horn and Hardart turned lunch into a vending machine experience. It was mechanical, efficient, and across the ocean. The UK already had fish and chips shops wrapping grease in newspaper for the working class. We were teaching our brains a new lesson. Food is fast. But we still hadn't learned the most dangerous lesson of them all. Food is endless. There was still a gap between hunger and that other feeling, that pulling sensation. In the 1930s and 40s, car hops were the rage. You parked, you waited, you ate at your car, but there was one problem. It was too slow. Orders got mixed up, but in San Bernardino, California, two brothers looked at their barbecue car hop business and realized something. They were selling mostly burgers, so they fired up their car hops. They smashed down the menu to just a few items, and then they went into a tennis court. They drew out a layout for their kitchen in chalk on the ground. They made their employees run simulations, pretending to flip burgers and fries, choreographing the movement like a dance. If they bump into each other, they redrew the lines. They didn't just invent a kitchen. They invented something diabolical. And they called it an assembly line. This was the Speedee Service System. In 1948, the new McDonald's opened. You didn't wait 20 minutes. You waited 30 seconds. This is the bridge. This is the moment we walk across from food for nourishment to food for dopamine. We didn't have to plan anymore. We didn't have to hunt. We just had to show up. The barrier between I want and I have was destroyed. And when you remove the weight, you feed the beast. So we have the speed, but speed alone doesn't explain why we eat when we aren't hungry. To understand that, we have to look at how food hijacked our culture. Food became a symbol. Take Japan.
に住む外国人のお客様が東京の青山店に
In 1971, since there was no turkey in Japan, foreigners went to Tokyo's first KFC to celebrate Christmas with friends.
よっていうことをおっしゃったんですね。
Christmas isn't a national holiday there, but every December 25th, millions of Japanese families wait in massive lines for one thing, KFC. In 1974, a marketing campaign called Kentucky for Christmas convinced the entire nation that fried chicken was the traditional holiday meal. It wasn't about the chicken, it was about the celebration. We do this everywhere. Graduated college, steak dinner, got a promotion, pizza party, had a bad breakup, ice cream tub. We stopped viewing food as fuel and started viewing it as a reward. From a reward, it even became a ritual. In Japan, Kit Kat sounds like Kito, Katsu, which translates to you will surely win. It became a good luck charm for students before exams, or tikoy during Chinese New Year. The stickiness symbolizes the family sticking together. These are beautiful tradition, but psychologically, they are doing something else. They are wiring your brain to associate high-calorie, high-sugar food with emotional importance. You aren't eating chocolate. You're eating success. You aren't eating fried chicken. You're eating Christmas. And when the emotional hits, the stomach follows. That itch starts to come back. But culture is only half the battle. We were building rituals. The food industry was building a weapon. This is where neuromarketing comes in. It didn't happen overnight. And it all started in the 1950s with a food scientist named Alina Shezhenyak at General Foods. She was a pioneer. She realized that texture was just as important as taste. Her work led to the sensory texture profile, a way to map exactly how food feels in your mouth to stimulate appetite. Fast forward to today, and that science has evolved into obsession. Modern giants like Frito-Lay now have dedicated crunch labs. They use acoustic engineering to measure decibel levels, frequency peaks, and fractured patterns. They know exactly how loud a chip needs to be to satisfy you. It's why the cereal industry uses extruded technology to control moisture, creating a puff or flake that survives milk without turning into mush immediately. It's why kettle chips are engineered for a hard bite, while Cheetos are designed with a specific airy structure. That sound, it isn't random. It's music to your brains.
The food industry across 7 different countries. Companies spend a lot of time optimizing all aspects of their product. The flavor, the taste, the texture. People want their product to be as good, if not better, than the competitor, so it will sell more.
It signals freshness. If a chip is silent, your brain thinks it's stale, even if the taste is exactly the same. They analyze the mouthfeel. They target the Bliss Point, the precise amount of sugar, salt, and fat that makes your brain light up like a pinball machine. But, and this is key, it doesn't trigger the I'm full signal. It's called Vanishing Caloric Density.
My kids love these. You don't typically think of this as being a soft food because it's a bit crunchy, but actually after that initial crunch, you can just crush it with your tongue, right? It's got no resistance at all. But in terms of the calories per gram, it's got way more calories than even a very fatty burger. So the softness and the energy density mean that you consume it incredibly quickly. And there's a food industry term for these very light, puffy foods that melt in the mouth. It's called vanishing caloric density.
Food like Cheetos melt in your mouth so quickly that your brain thinks you're eating nothing. You are consuming hundreds of calories, but your brain registers zero volume, and then there are the ingredients, fillers, preservatives, flavor enhancers, chemically designed to extend shelf life and extend your appetite. We are eating food-like products that confuse our hormones. They disrupt leptin, the hormone that says stop, and spike ghrelin, the hormone that says go.
actually short circuits the normal satiety mechanisms that you would have if you were actually chewing food properly. So you're bypassing a normal mechanism that tells you you're full.
We have moved so far from the 1900s farmer eating bread and cheese, we are eating engineered stimuli. And all of this, the history, the speed, the rituals, the science, it all combines to create one specific overpowering feeling. We've been dancing around this word for the last few minutes. It's called craving. In the past, you felt hunger. Hunger is physiological. It lives in the stomach. It builds slowly. It can be satisfied by an apple. Craving is different. Craving lives in the brain. It hits suddenly. It demands specific textures and flavors. And it cannot be satisfied by an apple. It wants the salt, the grease, the sugar. From survival to nourishment, to quick meals or a fast-paced life, we have been trained. We evolved from hunters to consumers. We evolved from eating to live, to living to eat. We turn into craving monsters. But there is one final piece of the puzzle, the thing that locks this cage tight. We don't just eat with our mouths anymore. We eat with our eyes. Look at YouTube.
Much razzle dazzle. Start plain, just a potato, just a
Count you've probably never seen. Today we're going deep in
Food content is king. We have food reviews telling us exactly what we must try before we die. We have food travel showing us the exotic flavors we are missing out. And then we have mukbang. Millions of people watch other people eat. Why? It triggers mirror neurons. Watching someone eat releases dopamine in your brain almost as if you were eating it for yourself. But here is the trap. It triggers the craving, but it doesn't satisfy the hunger. So you watch, you get triggered, you ordered food, you eat. It's a perfect loop. The neuromarketing engineered the food to be addictive. The fast food history made it accessible instantly. The social media content keeps it constantly in your visual feed. So why do we eat more than before? Because the world has conspired to make sure we do. We are fighting millions of years of biology that says, eat to survive, against 100 years of marketing that says, eat to feel. We aren't just hungry, we are stimulated, targeted, and triggered. Does this mean we are doomed? Nah. So the next time you reach for that snack, ask yourself, is this hunger or is it the history, the ritual, and the algorithm talking? Thanks for watching.